Lesson: Impact of global privacy regulations on U.S. businesses. The impact of global privacy regulations on U.S. businesses is profound, reshaping how organizations handle personal data and necessitating compliance with a myriad of international laws. As U.S. businesses increasingly engage in cross-border data transfers, understanding and navigating these global privacy regulations becomes essential. This lesson focuses on the actionable insights, practical tools, and frameworks that professionals can implement to address the challenges posed by international privacy considerations. Global privacy regulations, such as the European Union's General Data Protection Regulation, Brazil's General Data Protection Law, and China's Personal Information Protection Law, have set new standards for data protection. These laws emphasize individuals' control over their personal information and impose strict requirements on organizations regarding data collection, processing, and transfer. U.S. businesses must recognize that compliance is not merely a legal obligation, but a strategic imperative that affects their global competitiveness. One of the key challenges for U.S. businesses is the extraterritorial reach of regulations like the GDPR. The GDPR applies to any organization that processes personal data of individuals within the EU, regardless of where the organization is located. This means that U.S. businesses without a physical presence in Europe must still comply if they offer goods or services to EU residents or monitor their behavior. To address this challenge, businesses need to conduct thorough data protection impact assessments to evaluate the risks associated with their data processing activities. DPIAs serve as a practical tool that provides businesses with a framework to systematically analyze how data processing operations impact privacy. By identifying potential risks and implementing measures to mitigate them, organizations can demonstrate compliance with GDPR requirements and enhance their data protection practices. The DPIA process involves mapping data flows, assessing data protection risks, and documenting the decision-making process to address these risks. This approach not only aligns with GDPR compliance, but also promotes a culture of privacy within the organization. Another critical aspect of global privacy regulations is the requirement for lawful data transfer mechanisms. The GDPR, for instance, restricts the transfer of personal data to countries outside the EU that do not offer adequate data protection. U.S. businesses must utilize tools such as standard contractual clauses, binding corporate rules, or the EU-US Data Privacy Framework to ensure lawful data transfers. SCCs are pre-approved contractual clauses that provide safeguards for data transferred outside the EU, while BCRs are internal rules adopted by multinational companies to facilitate data transfers within the corporate group. To implement these mechanisms effectively, businesses should establish a cross-functional team involving legal, IT, and compliance experts to assess the adequacy of data protection measures in place. This team can develop and maintain a comprehensive data transfer policy that outlines the procedures for using SCCs, BCRs, or other transfer tools. Additionally, organizations should conduct regular audits to ensure ongoing compliance with these mechanisms and adapt to any changes in legal requirements. The impact of global privacy regulations also extends to data breach notification requirements. Regulations such as the GDPR and the PIPL mandate that organizations report data breaches to supervisory authorities and affected individuals within specific timeframes. U.S. businesses must establish incident response plans that include protocols for identifying, containing, and mitigating data breaches. These plans should define roles and responsibilities, communication strategies, and timelines for reporting incidents to authorities and affected individuals. A practical tool to enhance incident response capabilities is the use of tabletop exercises. These exercises simulate data breach scenarios, allowing organizations to test their response plans and identify areas for improvement. By involving key stakeholders and conducting these exercises regularly, businesses can ensure they are well prepared to handle data breaches and minimize the impact on individuals and the organization. The enforcement of global privacy regulations has led to significant financial penalties for non-compliance, underscoring the importance of robust data protection practices. For example, in 2019, Google was fined €50 million by the French Data Protection Authority for violating GDPR transparency and consent requirements. This case highlights the need for businesses to implement transparent privacy notices and obtain valid consent from individuals when processing their data. To achieve transparency and obtain consent effectively, businesses should employ user-centric design principles in their digital interfaces. This involves creating privacy notices that are clear, concise, and easily accessible, enabling individuals to make informed decisions about their data. Organizations can use A/B testing to evaluate different notice designs and optimize the user experience, ensuring compliance with global privacy regulations while building trust with their customers. The evolving landscape of global privacy regulations requires businesses to stay informed about regulatory developments and adapt their practices accordingly. Joining industry groups and associations, such as the International Association of Privacy Professionals, can provide valuable resources and networking opportunities for privacy professionals. These organizations offer training, certification programs, and access to a community of experts who can share insights and best practices for navigating global privacy challenges. In conclusion, the impact of global privacy regulations on U.S. businesses is multifaceted, influencing data protection practices, cross-border data transfers, incident response, and transparency measures. By leveraging tools such as DPIAs, SCCs, incident response plans, and user-centric design principles, organizations can effectively manage the challenges posed by these regulations. Staying informed about regulatory developments and engaging with industry associations further enhances businesses' ability to comply with global privacy standards and maintain a competitive edge in the international market.